It's the future.
Alcohol's good. Alcohol sanitizes.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
In my throat.
I don't drink a lot in the day, and I looked on Reddit. When's a good time to start drinking? 2 p.m. Because you can ask anything, and it'll be there. It's been asked, and it'll be like, yeah, if you have nothing to do after 2 p.m., it's fine. And that was the first top voted comment. I was like, all right, here we go.
Oh, there we go. It's 5 o'clock or 11 o'clock a.m. somewhere.
I don't even know what time it is, to be honest with you.
Or
My
day.
microwave
Day,
is
month.
broken.
I do know that this is It's the Future podcast episode 65.
I have no clue. Yeah,
Matt,
I don't even know.
Well, you
I
never
don't know where I am. I don't know what town I'm in. I don't know
You never
what
know.
time zone I'm in. So that's. I mean, that's that.
And people might have noticed, they might not have, because people are usually half paying attention. But we have a special guest with us today, Mr. Anthony Massa.
Hi.
Welcome,
Thanks for
bud.
having me.
And I've actually known Anthony as long as we've done this podcast, because when we first got started a few years back, I went to an open mic at
The
this
Goros,
bar.
right?
No, it was the tavern at the end of the world.
Oh, yes. That
I'm
was
sitting
maybe
there-
the only time I ever went.
Yeah, yeah. And I went there because I didn't go there much after that either. It was such a long wait to get in. But
Yeah.
but they had an open mic, and I was sitting there by myself, and this kid with glasses shows up with this hat, and I'm like, "Hey, man!" He's like, "Hey!" And so we start talking, we chatting, and I'm like, "Man, I can't figure out how to get my podcast on iTunes." He was like, "Oh, I know how to do that." He just wrote the instructions, gave it to me. He was like, "See you later, bud." And that was Anthony Massa.
I mean, to be fair, like, I had just learned, very early before I met you. I was like, oh, this is how you do it. It's pretty easy.
But the vibe in that bar was like not a I don't know. It wasn't. People weren't sitting down and going, "Hey."
Oh, no.
it was like
that's usually what it's like.
And that I just never forgot that. I was like, so I've always appreciated that meeting you, but also having you on my other podcast, Root Beer Circus, was great. We got totally trashed, but
that was fun. That was a
loved
fun one. Yeah, I remember when you were. Do you guys still do that other podcast?
We do, yeah.
Do you do it in that space?
In that space, yep.
That's a cool. Yeah, that was a fun day. I remember that.
Yeah, Anthony shows up with like 4 half bottles of booze, and we just got smashed. But we had a good time.
Yeah, it was good. But
yeah, so we're happy to have you on, and we also know that you actually in these crazy times actually did get COVID-19. So
yeah,
I'd like to ask you some questions about that. That's crazy.
Sure. Yeah.
Don't mind anyone walking behind me. It's just I live in a commune, so
I get it.
But yeah, if you want to explain to us a little bit about what your experience has been like with that. I'm sure Matt's got some questions for you too, but it's I think you're the first person that I actually know personally that has said like, yeah, man, I got it. And you seem to be doing well in recovery, so that's good news, right?
Yeah, it hasn't really been that bad. I mean, week 1 I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
I heard like 60% of people are asymptomatic for the first week, so whatever.
Yeah.
And then the second week, for a couple of days, I was my nose was dry. We tested positive, by the way. My nose was dry, and I had a cough, and I was sneezing a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is starting now. And then after that, it was just mild. And then I'm in like week 4 now, I think. And I think I'm about to get a second test just to see, but I think I'm good. It really hasn't been that bad.
What was the test process like? Did they have to put a finger up your butthole or something like
that?
Yes. That's what I heard. The first test was the butthole test.
I think that's standard practice across all foods.
When I was doing it, I don't know. It's different everywhere. When I was doing it, it wasn't much. They just took a little blood. But
so they did a blood test.
It's now from what I heard now it's completely different.
Yeah, I've seen people get stuff shoved down their like nose.
Yeah,
and shit.
nose stuff. Like I don't even know if it was. It changes every single day, right?
Yeah.
The way they test things, the way they look at things. So
And like, where do you go to even get a test? Do you just go to your primary care doctor?
yeah, I just went to the doctor.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I even saw people have drive-up tests, which I
Mhm.
mean, listen, I'm all about drive-through everything. Like, I
Yeah.
want drive-through testing. I want drive-through, like, even to see my primary care. I just want to drive up to a window.
Mhm.
What's up?
I think
Check my
I'm
check my
sorry.
stuff. Well, no, I just want to say, like, I don't ever want to get out of my car for anything
Yeah,
very much.
no. If you
you
could even get
typically
it
never want to
delivered.
leave your house, right?
I don't. I typically don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, I got so bored the other day. I was
You're
just
gonna
like,
literally have to pick you out of there with a fucking wheelbarrow after this thing's off, dude. Like
it's
literally,
got to be a sturdy wheelbarrow because I'm a big
you're
guy.
gonna have to get a goddamn what are those rascals, dude? You will be on a rascal in no less than 6 months.
I mean, I'm even thinking about getting one of those things that you sit and like you go down your stairs with.
I know you have, yeah.
And I only have 4 stairs.
Well, I got a price quote for you, so I'll send it over to you.
Oh, please do. Please send me that.
Yep.
The ideal would be like an ancestry DNA type thing, right? Where they mail you like a vial and you just spit and piss in it, and then.
Or let's get an app. So like if I walk up to someone and like because now I don't know how to say hello to anybody.
They
like,
do that in. They already have that in. I think South Korea, or maybe it is in China, where they have. It's like it's a little scanner screen, and like if the police stop you, whatever, they scan your thing, and it pops up like green, like you're good to go. You're good to, you've been tested, or you can go through this region, So they've already got that shit.
Do you think Kim Jong-un is dead or alive? Honestly,
that's a toughie because they
Isn't
say
it?
he's dead, right?
But
they
then
say he's dead, but
they
fucking
showed
who
him-
believes that?
they showed him partying like 2 days ago.
Well, then they said
he's
that
fine.
he was. Yeah, then they said he was with like a harem of like They called it a 2,000 women pleasure squad. Which, if that's
Yeah, he's in a satellite with 2,000 women somewhere. He's not
that
on
movie,
Earth
The
right now.
Interview, really I think painted a probably an exaggerated picture of what his life is like. But I was like, it's probably not that far off, dude. The guy's a dictator.
Yeah, no, I mean, do I think he's dead? I think that they're masters of misinformation and disinformation. So I think that we would never know the truth, even if it happened until way later.
I think if I was Kim Jong-un and during this time, because he's like rich and bored, I'd be like, hey, leak that I'm dead and see what happens. And then Twitter
if it was
went
confirmed,
crazy.
it would be all over the place. Like there would be headlines everywhere. It would be talked about more than.
I mean, Dennis Rodman would know for sure.
Oh yeah, Dennis Rodman would be tweeting out. Sorry, rest in peace, my friend.
Yeah, R.I.P. homie. Yeah. Damn.
I don't know if you guys are big basketball fans. I'm not, but I'm a big 90s basketball fan because when I was a kid, the Celtics were terrible. So I've been watching that new documentary on the Bulls that ESPN put out, which had commercials, by the way, which was garbage. I haven't watched commercials in forever.
I have that illegal service, and I have all of the episodes, so I watched ahead actually already.
You did watch them all?
Last 2 I still saved. I was like, all right, so you got to cap yourself, But
I was when I was 9 years old, I found out that I have the same birthday as Michael Jordan.
Oh, nice.
By eating his fruit snacks. There was stats on the side, and I was like, February 7th. Oh shit! So the best player in basketball in the whole world shared my birthday.
You know that doesn't give you any of his abilities, right? Are you aware of that?
I don't know.
If you eat enough, that's what it is. All the growth hormones in the gummies. You'll
the older I get, the more I feel I am becoming more like Michael Jordan. So, I mean, I've got the hair. You haven't really commented on my hair yet, Matt.
We're literally reversies. Look at this.
Yeah. You look like you have. It's like cartoon hair.
No, this is chia pet hair. You just let it grow.
Ah,
mine's getting pretty long too. I actually haven't gotten a haircut since last May, so we gotta get one soon. Yeah, and I was gonna get one, but then pandemic hits. They all closed down. You can't get a haircut.
Right. Yep. Are we ever gonna be able to have haircuts again?
I don't know. I'm not using a bowl. I'm not doing that.
No.
Now, did they recommend that you drink while having COVID, or is that just something you're taking upon yourself?
Oh no, I haven't drank at all during quarantine, gotcha. and just yesterday for this show I was like, oh, why not? I'll get a bottle. I'll treat myself.
What'd you get?
I got a little bit of Jack. Yeah, if I'm gonna take a drink now, if we wanna.
Nice.
Oh sure, absolutely. Cheers.
I got nowhere to be.
I have a Dunk's coffee and. Water.
I have water that is ionized with a 9.5 pH.
That's the good stuff. You ever seen that video? You ever see that video where they test the water for acidity and like all the mainstream waters? Hold on one second.
Yeah, take that sip. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
They like line up all these waters, right? This is the worst part about having a beer is it catches everything and it's so obvious.
But that's like the worst and best thing about
And
it.
the worst and best, yeah. They put the waters side by side, different brands like Poland Spring. This one, I think they dipped it in. It's just like pure yellow. It's extremely acidic.
Wow.
Like all the mainstream waters that everyone buys are extremely acidic. My cam is bugging a little bit here. It seems like.
Oh yeah, we had this problem last week where Matt like completely froze and I think he died inside a little bit.
I think it's because of my computer. And it's slowing down and lagging on like the worst faces that I'm making.
Awesome.
Too.
I don't know. I think I like that. That face was great.
I'm gonna try not to laugh or do anything because every face that I make, it's gonna be slowly going through each and every single face I make.
Oh, that's great.
Fantastic. Anyway, let's ignore that.
Now, I wanted to mention too, like Anthony is definitely a multi-talented individual. He also is a very great illustrator and graphic designer, and he's actually done several logos for me, for Rupert Circus, and for this new podcast that Matt and I are trying to do called the Perfect Panenka Podcast, which is
that was a
soccer podcast.
That was a fun one to draw too.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
great.
Thanks for that, man. That was crazy.
Of course.
So so we started to do a sports podcast 3 weeks before sports were all canceled. So we have that in the can.
You do esports.
We could do esports, but that was more of a specific to soccer and European soccer.
FIFA.
Like, what a terrible time to start it up when every single season of every league is canceled. So it's like,
and we were also trying to do a multi-camera podcast with that, and like we really don't have like the facilities to edit something big like that yet. But we were trying it, so stay tuned for that. That's definitely coming up. But Anthony, where can people find your art? Is it you have like Instagram and Facebook set up?
Yeah,
right?
I have it on my Instagram, but I do like sometimes I draw things that I can't post on Instagram.
Right.
My Instagram for my art is Angry Yelling Art, I think.
Angry Yelling Art, yeah.
Yeah, and then Twitter is Artfully Cruel. That's where you find the not safe for work.
I'll have that scrolled on the bottom after I edit this together, so people can check that out. But
no worries, thank you.
Yeah, I always like tuning into your stuff, man. It's always fun. It's there's a range of different things that you do, but you do it all in like when I see your stuff, it's very Anthony Massa. Like it just has your signature on it. So
thank you, man.
Yeah,
I'm trying to like develop a style, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stand out a little bit.
And I just think it's very rare to find people that are like usually when I deal with graphic designers and stuff, it's like almost like they overthink it and they like maybe take too long to get it out to you or whatever. But I've always had great work with you, so I highly recommend you for anyone that needs logo work. You can just send ideas to Anthony. Or nothing, and just have him go at it.
I'll do my best, I guess.
Yeah,
I try to be, I try to get you what you want, I guess. But I don't know. Sometimes though, I am kind of slow with stuff. I get burnt out and bogged down. Yeah. But hearing you say that I'm punctual, makes me feel a little better.
Well, yeah, and like obviously we've been doing some projects together for art, but then shit happens like this. You getting COVID and you have to like dial it back and take care of yourself. So
I feel like I was being a little disingenuous when I was talking about it. Like for a week I was like awful, but after that I was fine. After that I feel better and I'm like, oh, this ain't so bad, but I forget. So
now, how did you get into art in general? Have you always just doodled or like was it something that came later on?
I liked drawing. Well, I like cartoons since I was like a small child. I don't even remember how long, but I was always drawing. And that turns into a want to be creative, and so I draw and I write and all this stuff, and I liked cartoons, so that led me into liking South Park, which probably built my comedic sensibilities into steering me towards comedy. So
That's
I've always
great.
just liked making things. That's just what I like doing, making whether it's like world building, like making a story, or just making people laugh. I just like making things. So as long as I can make things, I'm happy.
Matt has this thing where he just draws balls.
Yeah.
Of
Well,
all,
you gotta
like,
have
all-
a niche that you
all
like.
different animals, all different like aliens. Sometimes
Is
like,
that
just-
real? Because if so, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I like
I've
it.
got a you can't see it, but on the back of the neck here, I've actually got a nice set of anteater balls. They're rare, you know.
That's
what I mean?
awesome.
No, and then so what I'm thinking about, I have them drawing it up, but as a lower back tattoo, I want to get a pangolin
Yeah.
with just a big old saggy set.
what's a pangolin? Can you explain what a pangolin
Oh my
is?
God. I mean, no, you're too
I think I have to look it up. Hold on,
Just
let me look it up.
Let me ask you, Matt. Do you know the old Tanuki paintings from Japanese art history?
No, I mean, I've probably seen them at like the Museum
Super
of Fine Arts,
Mario.
stuff
You
like
know,
that, you know.
Mario's got his Tanuki suit, you know, in Super Mario World 3. But that's based on the old Japanese folklore of the Tanuki. And you should look up some Tanuki art because
Nice.
you just hearing that, you will love this. Tanuki are like these little magical raccoon-like creatures.
Wait a minute. In Mario Brothers, that wasn't a raccoon suit. That was a Tanuki.
Yes, it's called the Tanuki suit.
What?
That just
Yes.
blew my mind.
Yes.
Mind blown, dude.
And it's based on the Japanese folklore of the Tanuki, which has a gigantic set of nuts. That's
Oh.
a magical
7
set of
nuts.
nuts. It's got a
Wow.
magical set of
Holy
nuts.
I'm
And-
gonna look up.
Yes, look this up.
balls.
Tanuki
Wow.
art. Tanuki Japanese art.
Oh
And
yeah, there's one where he's like the little Tanuki sitting on his sack.
yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, that's my
Wow.
life.
You would
I'm gonna-
love this. No, I know what people
Wow.
like when I hear things about people. I'm like, I know this guy will like
Matt
this.
would be a big Tanuki ball
I'm a
fan for
huge
sure.
Tanuki. Yeah, I mean, chalk it up, dude. Call me Tanuki. That's my new nickname. Fuck
Matty
it.
Tanukes.
You're
I
gonna
love
go
it.
in a Tanuki wormhole. You're gonna love this shit, and it blows my mind. It boggles the mind when you think that Mario took that and the Tanuki flying. You know how you can fly with that suit on? in
Yeah,
the
with the
game?
tail.
Yeah,
it makes a
that's
little
because
sense only
they can
because
fly.
it's produced in Japan, right? So I mean,
Yes.
like, you know, that would be the link, if anything.
Mhm.
But it is.
Wait, how does a
wild.
Tanuki fly?
They fly
Huh?
with their nuts.
No.
Yes,
They
yes.
do. I found it. Oh my
They're
god.
nut flyers.
Yep.
Wow.
Wait, so are they just like inflated sacks of air that allow them to hover?
No,
or-
I don't know. I don't know if it's giant testes or helium inside. But it might
Yeah,
be
that looks
either
like a
one.
sack that's been injected
Well,
with
there would
some
have to be
gas.
some sort of chemical process to create the helium within the sack. So I gotta do my research.
Wait a minute. Do
Yeah.
they only fly, though, in cartoon form, or do they fly in real life?
I think it's just a cartoon. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so
It might be
science-
real
Lonzo
life.
thinks they're real.
Science
Maybe
is
they're
out.
real animals.
Maybe someone saw a flying squirrel from far
Yeah.
away and they just thought, "Oh, that's the ancient Tanuki."
Yeah, I mean, it's reminiscent of a sugar glider, right? So,
Yeah.
Wow.
They have a lot of folklore in Japan that's actually really interesting, like the yokai stuff, like these demons that are in Japanese folklore. And there's one that's like an umbrella. It's just a haunted umbrella. There's a bunch of fun stuff.
oh, I love umbrellas too. So that's
I'm a big
I just-
umbrella head.
I
I'm a
just love
big
getting into
umbrella
like just subcultures that I'm not familiar with, and then you start to go like, oh my god, this is a whole fucking deal.
Yeah, there's a whole thing going on
Dude,
here.
Yeah.
before this podcast, I didn't know two things: one, that I was an umbrella guy, and two, that I'm a Tanuki dude.
You are now, dude.
Unbelievable.
Tanuki
to
Balls
change
is going to
minds.
be the name of the name of this podcast. This
Tanuki
very
Balls.
episode.
Please.
Just Tanuki.
Yeah.
Tanuki.
I like making memes, man. This is fun.
That's
Now,
awesome.
also too, I just wanted to touch a little bit on my new hairstyle because in the last
great.
podcast, thank you.
Yeah.
The last podcast, I actually got
Don't gaslight him, dude.
Matt didn't
Fucking
see it
terrible.
because Matt rage quit the last podcast, but our guest was still
Fucking
on.
so annoying.
And I had my fiance actually like shave my head down to like a 3 while we were on the podcast. We just shaved it, and then later that night we just was like, let's just see what it looks like bicked, and it doesn't It doesn't look that bad.
You say it like it's something that you could have taken back. Let's just see how it looks big.
Well, you can take
You can only do that
back.
in Grand Theft Auto. You can only grow a beard at the barber there.
That's true. And Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
But also, like, the thing is, you can take a haircut back because in a few months it grows right back. So, like,
you think yours is going to grow in thicker then, or what?
I think I'm going to keep it bicked from now on. Yeah.
Dude, okay. Well, that worries me about your mental health.
Why does that worry you?
Because you look like a white Kirby Puckett, and it makes sense because
that's funny you say that because I'm wearing a Kirby Puckett jersey right now.
See what I'm saying? See what I have to deal with? Unbelievable, dude.
You want to shave my head? Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So, and the thing what comes with heads like this is you have to, do some maintenance every couple days. So, I'm gonna have we'll continue the podcast, but I'm gonna have Sammy clean up.
Hey, Sammy.
My Anthony says hi. Hi. It's kind of
I feel bad for my laggy camera here.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. I might even just get a still picture of you and put it over the camera.
That's fine.
I'll take the jersey off. Actually, let me take the jersey off. We don't want to mess up the jersey because we just got it. And
is this like a segment you guys do every episode?
No, this is just
like touch up the head.
He impromptu does several things that are very annoying. Like he eats impromptu. He'll just do random acts while. And
what the secret is, I do it because I know how much it pisses Matt off. So
it only started with this Zoom stuff because I can't be there yelling at him, and trying to control his movements.
You gotta do something to make good radio, though. I mean, you gotta push the boundaries.
You gotta change it up,
Yeah. You guys know Troy Burdett?
Troy, yes, I do know Troy.
Yeah, I was trying to do radio with him the other day, something like this. And he did something like that where he does something to be annoying to me. You know what he did?
What?
He got in bed and covered himself in covers and stopped talking. So,
wow.
Yeah, so take what you can get. At least
that works.
When we used to do the podcast, Matt would do that. Matt would invite me over. He's like, hey, come hang out. And I'd come over and he would just pass out. Like, great.
Just start lying.
That's actually not how it happened.
That is exactly how it happened.
Podcast for 2.5 hours, and he would be uploading it, and then we would throw on a movie, and then I would fall asleep.
Uploading it, meaning editing the podcast. Because Matt
you didn't
doesn't do that part.
You fucking bumped it to iTunes, and it took forever because of the fucking internet. Don't tell me what
I did and did not do.
Dude, you have a terrible memory. You just make shit up.
Anthony, so Matt and I have been doing the podcast now for probably about, I think it's 4 or so years.
That's
and
awesome.
we've become like a married couple. So excuse us while we figure.
Can I ask a few things?
Please.
May I interview you?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when did you start? When you started the podcast, did you immediately get into editing, or did you just upload it without listening to it? Because that's what a lot of people do.
That's a good question. So I actually I went to school for TV and radio production at Massasoit Community College. Awesome. But then after I
school for sport and rec management.
Yeah, nice. No one cares about that. But so for the podcast, so but after I graduated, there was no jobs that I could get that paid decent money. So I became a bartender for a little bit, and then I worked at a travel company where me and Matt actually met. So. But I always had that editing background. So when I got this laptop, it had GarageBand built in, and I just started messing with it and figured out that I could record something on my computer, send it to iTunes, and then somehow or I could then get that out to the public.
So for you, the production came first before I'll make a podcast.
But I also learned along the way doing editing and producing a podcast is much different than the stuff I'd done previously. So
sorry, you might hear my dogs sometimes. They're pieces of shit.
That's all right.
Good.
But yeah, we've got it down to a science where I try to concise or get the process down so that I don't have to spend so much time editing it. Yeah. That I sometimes if I put it off, we won't get a podcast out for a couple weeks because
we also to be fair, we also don't have a lot of stuff that we would need to edit. It's a pretty much a free flow thing, other than putting in drops or fade ins and stuff like that. All the stuff that he does, we just kind of naturally have a flow where there's not a lot of things like that we flag ourselves for. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like, it's just like forward motion. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Sometimes I'd have to edit Matt because he would go on like 40-minute rants about stupid
that never
shit.
happened. Again, he lies.
First time
guy at a bus stop.
First time Sammy was on the podcast, and that was like the first time Sammy
You're
and I
welcome.
hung out was
You're
on
welcome.
this podcast.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
We had her on as a guest, like, oh, we got this comedian Sammy Anderson to come on the podcast, and Matt pretty much took up the entire podcast talking about some guy.
I don't even
talking
know
about
what the story
eugenics
was,
going
but
off.
I know that I was impossibly high. That's all
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I was
Stop
just.
moving your head or you're gonna get wounded.
Oh, I've been told I'm moving my head too much during
You are.
the shaving.
I asked because
I would hate it if you cut him.
make the segment interesting. I want to see some blood.
I want to see bleed.
I asked because there's a lot of podcasts, comedians that do podcasts that don't really have an editing background or anything like that, and they just they don't. I know for a fact they don't even listen to it. I've asked a few people before this question, like, do you edit? And they go, no, I just put it up.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, if that's, it all depends on what you're trying to put out. You know, if you want to put out something that's got a little bit more production to it, like a song in the beginning or like a drop here and there. But if you just want to like do like a Bill Burr type thing and just rant and put it up there, that's you can do that too.
I definitely.
I get super anxious when I'm putting out something. Like I'll always be like, and sometimes I can be a little too much. Like I'll be editing out all the ums and all the lip smacks and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, you can let those
that's what keeps me from really having a quick production rate.
The only thing I get worried about is like if something happens to the actual recording while you're doing it, because that's happened to us before. And also, we had a whole podcast where we interviewed one of our friends' dads, and it went so well.
It was
and then
ever happened.
While I'm editing the podcast, somehow I deleted the whole thing.
Oh, dude, I've
done to like
that.
Start all. We were like, oh shit.
I felt sick to my stomach that
Me
day.
too.
I was like, what happened?
I was like, I think I just deleted the whole thing. Oh my god. It's gone.
I was interviewing this comic, really funny dude, and we did a podcast for like an hour, and he's just giving all these awesome road stories. And then I look over at Audacity, and I'm like, oh, it crashed like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's what's tough about it. So a lot of people have said to like, have a secondary recording set up in the room somewhere, which we still haven't done that yet. So. But it's definitely a process that you just have to keep learning and you get better at it.
Yeah.
You just have to keep consistent. That's, I think, our biggest problem is that over the 4 years, we've only done 65 episodes. So 65 sounds like a big number, but not really when, you're doing one for that long. But I just got a warning that we're running out of time.
Okay.
We have remaining time. We have
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yep. Perfect. So. That's the other thing with Zoom. I've been worried about like going over the time and not getting the end of the podcast. So,
well, do you ever like maybe just start it up again, or do you have a certain amount of time for the day?
I think you only get 40 minutes per day. I think.
Damn.
But I'm not sure.
No, I think it's just per session. So to his point, you could cut it together if you wanted to.
But that's a pain in the butt.
Maybe take an intermission sort of thing, or
I think I'm just gonna buy the year subscription so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Discord has a video share function now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll check that out.
Yeah,
Zoom is it's pretty easy.
It is.
And it sends you a file right after the recording. It just bounces it right to
I know. I just discovered that the other day. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
I have videos of Troy sleeping now.
That's great.
Yep. I'll share those to Reddit soon.
Nice. Where can we find your stuff? Do you have your own Reddit group?
No, I don't really upload things to Reddit. I go on there a lot though. There's some funny,
there's some hilarious shit on there. Yeah, I love it.
I love it. It reminds me, like, it makes me think that's where everyone from 4chan went.
Yeah, I bet they did. Yeah,
it's good stuff. I was thinking of going on 4chan today. I was walking. I was like, I kind of want to know what the old boards are like right now.
I was thinking about doing a TikTok actually.
Don't do TikTok, please.
Why not?
It's
unbelievable, dude.
It's gross.
It is gross, but it's almost to the point where it's like if you did a TikTok for a bit, I think I could make a funny ass thing with it, and then it's just another opportunity to go viral somehow. So
think of this: in a year, it's not just us that'll think it's cringe. Everyone's gonna think TikTok's cringe. It's one of those fads
I'd
that's
have to
gonna
agree.
fly by. Like, I mean, Vine was like okay because at least some production value went into this, but the TikTok, from what I see, I went on it for a little bit just to look. I didn't make an account or anything, and all I saw in it was like lip sync videos and
It's embarrassing. It's
dancing
third-party
videos.
embarrassment.
Yeah, it's gross. And now I'm not saying anything about present company, but comedians getting it. I just don't. I don't like it. It gives me a feeling. I'm not telling anybody what to do.
Yeah,
you know.
I am. Don't fucking do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Please. And then you see it. Speaking of TikTok, have you seen these videos of like nurses and doctors dancing on TikTok?
No, I haven't.
Dude, it's
Have
like,
you
aren't
seen
you supposed to be doing something?
Have you seen the Carol Baskin challenge? Like that song?
No.
I
Carol
did see that.
Baskin.
That's what I'm saying. I want to do that.
Dude.
You just do it on Twitter. Put it on Twitter or
Oh,
YouTube. At least
Sammy and I actually learned a Joe Exotic song for. We had to submit a song to a cable access studio near us that were doing like a Got Talent thing, and we did a Joe Exotic song. It was awesome.
But
But
how about these
geez.
coronavirus parody songs? You like those?
I've only heard a couple of them. I heard Dana J. Bynes was pretty good. That was the what was it called?
The Corona Rhapsody or something.
Yeah, Corona
that was
Rhapsody.
a trip out when I saw him on the news.
Yeah, like WGBH interviewed him. It was crazy.
Yeah. And
He's
then,
a good dude.
And now, if you look, there's hundreds of coronavirus. It never ends.
It never
parody
ends.
Songs.
No.
Ugh, I don't know. And it's like that episode of South Park when Cartman's in a Catholic band. And it's all you have to do is change the words a little bit.
And it's yours.
It's like it's easy. I don't know.
That's funny.
Oh man,
Dana was the original though. You can't deny.
that's right. It sure was. All right. Well, we got 5 minutes left. So I don't want to get this cut off where we can't get your.
I had a lot of
in,
fun.
man.
I like to.
Really
I'd like
fun,
to
man.
do it again.
We would love to have you.
Stuff. Yeah.
We've actually been more consistent doing our podcast now that we have to do with Zoom because it's just easier from us to do it from our homes instead of travel to each other.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do one every Sunday and then get it out the following week. So
before this, I was using Discord a lot to do podcasts, and it's easy. But people were like, "Oh, I want to be there with you." And now, I mean, it's the way to do it. People will probably do it after all this is over too.
This gives us
how
no
is that
excuse.
different from Twitch?
How is what?
How is Discord different from Twitch? Do you know?
So-
I have no knowledge about either.
Discord. So Twitch is like a streaming platform where you can go live through that. Like
Gotcha.
It's as if Facebook Live was just its own website.
Yep.
And people use it for games a lot. Discord is kind of like Skype with multiple servers.
Oh, okay.
And
So you can record on Discord as well, just like Zoom. Or
yes, yeah. You can, and there's plenty of like bots and add-ons for Discord where you can get like a voice recorder bot who will record a different track for everyone in the voice chat.
Oh, nice.
And now it has a video function. I tried going side by side with Zoom. Zoom right now the video, like the face cam function is better.
Yeah.
But the screen share function in Discord's better, so it's hard.
I think these things are all going to evolve as people are now using them a lot. Like I see Zoom has an update like every 2 minutes, like every day.
Oh yeah, and stock. I mean, imagine the stocks in Discord and Zoom right now.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Incredible.
But
Richer getting richer.
boring technological shit. I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's great. I love nerding out with you about how to do stuff because like you just like I soak in that knowledge, so I love it.
Fucking nerd. I'm sorry.
Oh, same. But so Anthony, I just want to thank you again for coming on the podcast.
Of course, thanks for having me. Man. This was
really
fun. Both of you guys. Nice meeting you, Matt. Too.
Yeah, you too, bud. Absolutely.
And if you want to plug your like how we can get a hold of you, guys have a YouTube channel where you guys
I'm building it right now. It's just got like some speed paints on it for now, but I'm trying to like add podcasts. It's got season 3 of the Mindless Distraction podcast when I was doing it with Will and Jay. That's on there.
Okay.
We're not doing it together now. It's kind of a bit of a time commitment. I don't know during the quarantine I'd like to, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna be doing it solo soon. And I'm doing daily Twitch streams. I'm doing drawing streams where I talk, and then on Wednesdays and Fridays from 3 to 5, I'm doing like a podcast sort of thing.
Where can people see you on Twitch?
Twitch.tv/Matches Massa, and my Twitter is Artfully Cruel, and Anthony Massa LOL is my like regular comedy Twitter.
That's great, man.
Nice.
Well, I hope people can tune in and maybe throw some Venmo your way. And
No worries. I just like to gab. It's not for the money for me.
right on. Well, thanks again for coming on, man. This has been great, and we'll definitely have you on again sometime soon. I hope you stay safe out there. Wear those masks and
You too.
and squirt this shit on yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bathe. I'm gonna be like Danny DeVito in that episode of It's Always Sunny where he's all bathed in Purell.
I think I'm slowly becoming Danny DeVito. So
That's what the shaved head is.
You're 75% of the way there.
Well, this has been It's the Future Podcast, episode 65.
65.
My name's Steve Alonzo Jr. That's Matt Legier. We'll see you guys next time.
It's the future.